Welcome friends, we'll start with the questions. So this is the first one. Question number one, part A. It says the mean annual income of workers in a company is rupees 5,000 with a standard deviation of rupees 1,200. It is suspected that local workers have higher than average income. So to verify this, a sample of 144 local workers is drawn and their sample mean comes out to be 5,500. So now what we have to find out, can it be said that local workers have significantly higher income than the total population, than income of total population? Okay. So guys, let us see what has been given to us. It has been given that my mean of population is what? 5,000. Now standard deviation of population is what? 1,200. Okay, then what we do, we take a sample. What is sample size? 144, and we find that the mean of the sample size comes out to be 5,500. We have to find out this claim, that whether local workers have higher income than population or not. Okay, so whatever we are trying to prove, that becomes my alternate hypothesis. So we always write alternate hypothesis first, then we write null hypothesis. So my alternate hypothesis is written as HA. Sometimes it is also written as H1. Alternate hypothesis becomes my mu is greater than 5,000. Why? Because so what is mu? Mu is mean of population of local workers, and we are trying to prove that this is higher than total population, which is 5,000. So my alternate hypothesis becomes mu is greater than 5,000. So my null hypothesis becomes mu is less than equal to 5,000. In some books, you also might see that mu is equal to 5,000. So this is also correct way of writing it. Okay, so I have written my null hypothesis, I have written my alternate hypothesis. So hypothesis testing के steps हम सबको आता है. So let us move to next step, which is what? Let us calculate the Z value. Okay, so my Z is given by sample mean minus mu of population divided by standard deviation divided by sample size under root. So let us put up these values. 5,500 minus 5,000 divided by 1,200, 144, and my Z comes out to be 5. Okay, so guys, for this Z, now what we have to do, I'll find my p value. So as we know that there are two methods of doing any hypothesis problem. One is critical value approach, another one is p value approach. I'm doing this with p value approach. ठीक है? So guys, p value approach का मतलब क्या है कि for my normal distribution, this is my population mean. I have to find for 5,500. I have to find for 5,500 what is the area of the shaded portion. This area of shaded portion will become my what? Will become my p. This will become my p value. Okay, for what? Such that my Z is 5. So this Z is 5 standard deviations. So इसके लिए हम लोग क्या करते हैं? We'll look at the normal distribution table. So for a value of Z equal to 5, I have to find my p value. अब गाइज होता क्या है कि ऑब्वियसली हम टेबल में जाके देखेंगे, राइट? जस्ट माइंड इट कि हमें कौन सा एरिया देखना है, राइट? जस्ट माइंड इट कि हमें कौन सा एरिया देखना है. So let us come back and let us look at the table which has been given in UPSC management optional paper. ठीक है? So guys, this is management optional paper only. तुम्हारे सामने है, ठीक है? अब इसमें से हम जो टेबल हम लोगों को दिया है उसी को देखते हैं. तो ये वाला टेबल पेपर के अंदर दिया हुआ है, ठीक है? अब इसमें अगर हम लोग देखेंगे इस ध्यान से, तो क्या होगा कि जो हमारा जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड गाइस, यस, सो आई एम मेकिंग दिस स्क्रीन बिगर, ठीक है। अब दिस इज माई नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन टेबल, ठीक है। सो आई हैव टू फाइंड माई पी वैल्यू कोरस्पॉन्डिंग टू जेड। लेकिन इस वाली टेबल हमें ध्यान से देखोगे, ये वाला एरिया दिया हुआ है, मैं इसमें इंटरेस्टेड हूं बिकॉज दिस विल गिव मी माई पी वैल्यू, करेक्ट। सो कोई बात नहीं, वी नो कि हमारा जो टोटल एरिया है, टोटल एरिया मीन्स व्हाट, कि कि हमारा जो ये सारा एरिया है यहां से लेके यहां तक, ये पूरा एरिया कितना होता है, 0.5 होता है, करेक्ट। तो मैं अगर मैं शेडेड निकाल लूंगा तो 0.5 में से शेडेड सब्ट्रैक्ट कर लूंगा एंड आई विल गेट माय वैल्यू। अब गाइज इस वाले सवाल में होता क्या है कि माय जेड इज व्हाट, जेड इज माय 5, ठीक है। अब अगर मेरा जेड 5 है और इस टेबल में नीचे देखता हूं मैं, तो जेड कैसे दिया हुआ है, यहाँ देखो जेड 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.3 और सिर्फ 3 तक दिया हुआ है, ठीक है। 3 के बाद नहीं है, उसने दिया इतना है। अब ना अगर हम लोगों ने सिर्फ अपना ऐसे रट्टा लगाया हुआ है कि टेबल कैसे देखते हैं रादर देन कॉन्सेप्चुअली अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट, तो वैसे ही कुछ लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे, ठीक है। लेकिन अगर तुम ध्यान से देखोगे कि जितना जेड का वैल्यू बढ़ता जाएगा, जितना जेड का वैल्यू बढ़ता जाएगा, तो ये वाला एरिया मेरा यहाँ ऐसे से बढ़ता जाएगा, करेक्ट। दिस एरिया विल कीप इंक्रीजिंग, ठीक है। सो इनफैक्ट जब हम इस वाली टेबल को देखते हैं, जब हम इस वाले टेबल को देखते हैं, जेड की वैल्यू 0.1, 0.2 एंड सो ऑन, नीचे देखते हैं वैल्यू किस तरह वेरी कर रही है, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7। और जस्ट लुक एट दीज वैल्यूज गाइज, जस्ट लुक एट दीज वैल्यूज कि जैसे जैसे नीचे जाता जा रहा है और कैसे वैल्यू दे आर गोइंग 0.49, सॉरी 44 47 48 49। तो इसका मतलब जब 3 पे ही 0.4985 हो चुका है, तो जब जेड 5 है तो इवन इट विल बी even more closer to 0.5. So my Z value of this area, which area? So my Z value for this area, जो हम लोगों को ग्राफ में दिया है, for this area is, sorry, my P value for Z is equal to 5 is 0.5। और अगर 0.5 में से क्योंकि हम तो इंटरेस्टेड हैं इस वाले एरिया में, किसमें हम इंटरेस्टेड हैं, हम तो इंटरेस्टेड है इस वाले एरिया में, करेक्ट। तो अगर ये 0.5 है तो ये कितना बच गया, so it is very close to zero now, so you can say almost zero। so my p value in this question is almost zero। ठीक है। so let's come back to our question, ठीक है। yes, cool। so my p value is 0, or you can say close to 0, it's almost 0। so my p value is close to 0। अब हाइपोथेसिस में हम क्या करते हैं, हम लोग चेक करते हैं कि मेरा if my p is less than alpha, alpha is what, level of significance 0.05। so मेरा p 0, क्या मेरा अल्फा से कम है, which is 0.05, yes। so because my p value is less than level of significance or which is less than alpha, therefore my decision is what, I'll reject null hypothesis। so null hypothesis रिजेक्ट करने का मतलब क्या है कि I'll go with alternate hypothesis। therefore yes I can say that local workers have significantly higher income than income of total population। therefore yes I can say that this claim is true। we can say that this claim is true। अब guys देखो हुआ तो क्या है कि यूजुअली जेड की वैल्यू 5 देने का सवाल बनता ही नहीं है, ठीक है। आई मीन इट मेक्स मोर सेंस अगर जेड की वैल्यू कुछ 2 3 के आसपास होती, ठीक है। पर अब ठीक है, मे बी कई बार यूपीएससी वाले भी सवाल, इनफैक्ट आई टेल यू वन इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग, हमने पिछले 20 साल का ना एक एक सवाल किया है। डू यू नो यूपीएससी ने आज तक एक भी न्यूमेरिकल खुद से नहीं बनाया है, हमेशा किसी ने किसी बुक से कॉपी किया है। अब एक एक सवाल को हम लोगों ने किया है। इनफैक्ट कई बार तो उन्होंने क्या किया, कॉपी किया किसी बुक से न्यूमेरिकल और फिर उसमें कुछ कुछ हल्का फुल्का चेंज कर दिया, वो सवाल भी गलत हो गया। दिस व्हाट हैपेंड इन इन्वेंटरी मैनेजमेंट क्वेश्चन इन 2015। सो आइडियली तो ऐसा सवाल नहीं बनाना चाहिए कि जहां जेड की वैल्यू 5 हो, लेकिन अगर बन गया है कोई बात नहीं, तो कॉन्सेप्चुअली हम लोगों को समझ में आना चाहिए कि क्या इसका मतलब क्या है, और इस वाले सिनेरियो में हम इस सवाल को कैसे इसको हम सोल्व करेंगे. ओके, सो गाइस लेट्स मूव ऑन, and let's move on to second question, which is okay, the question is, what supply chain management strategies were adopted by leading e-commerce companies such as Amazon and Flipkart during lockdown period caused by the coronavirus pandemic? So पहले तो हम लोग ये समझ लेते हैं कि हुआ क्या है, मतलब what were the business challenges during the lockdown period. So guys, what happened to these companies when there was lockdown? So let us list down some of those challenges. One was disruption in sourcing. So China and everything got closed, right? So they were not getting things from there. Not only like from outside country, even within countries, even within country between two cities also there was disruption in movement of goods and everything. So sourcing was the primary challenge. Second thing which was happened is that increased demand. Why? Because there was lockdown, physical stores were hardly open, so everybody started ordering online. So suddenly there was surge in the demand. So it created issues of inventory management. It created issues of inventory management. Another challenge was manpower shortage. So why manpower shortage? Because people went back to their towns, or they were finding it difficult to come to the work. The modes of transportation were not so easily available, and all those things. So there was shortage of manpower. Then delay in delivery. Then there were also challenges in transportation. So these are the some of the challenges from the supply chain management perspective. So to address the challenges, what was done? Let us look at some of those strategies. So guys, first thing first, that uh, and which is the foremost point of any supply chain problem is that there was need of a better information sharing, or you can say sharing demand data among members of supply chain. Why? So that you can reduce the bullwhip effect. So that bullwhip effect can be reduced. Second thing, what was done is that there was need of diversification. Diversification of what? Diversification of your supplier base, so that your risk of depending one person is reduced. Not only that, diversification in your means of logistics as well. So diversification in a supplier base, diversification also in the logistics. Then there was better need of better management of safety stock, or you can also say that better management of intermediary in inventory. Okay, then a lot of digital tech was also used. For example, tracking of goods, or tracking of movements, then online training, because training also become a challenge. So even if somebody joining new, how to train that person? So training itself was a challenge. Okay. Then of course it was also required that there has to be a better trade-off between product variety versus how much standardization we want to adopt and how much product variety we want to offer. So again, guys, these are some of the factors. For a question like this, I'll really suggest कि आप लोगों के खुद के खूब सारे point होने चाहिए, and which you can build upon. But then these were some of the strategies which were used, or which could have been used by e-commerce companies during the lockdown period. And of course, you can also improve this answer. You can also give even better points than what I have written. Okay. Let us come to now question number 3. How can information system bring competitive advantage to business organization by supporting managerial decision making? Okay, so guys, कि जो information system है हमारे, how can they bring competitive advantage? अब competitive advantage होता क्या है? First thing first. So guys, competitive advantage वो attributes हैं which will create better quality or better profitability or better customer service इन कंपैरिजन टू योर कॉम्पिटिटर्स, आप अपने कॉम्पिटिटर से इन किसी भी उस पे अगर अच्छा करते हो, दीज आर योर कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज. मैं आई गिव यू सम एग्जांपल्स. सो फॉर एग्जांपल यू कैन हैव अ इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट. इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट का एग्जांपल क्या हो सकता है? मे बी मैगी, ठीक है. और मे बी यू हैव अ लार्ज कस्टमर बेस. लार्ज कस्टमर बेस एग्जांपल दो, WhatsApp. Then maybe you can have a unique brand. Unique brand का मतलब maybe iPhone. Then you might have low cost production capability. Maybe Micromax. I don't know if this company is still there in market. Maybe you have expertise in supply chain management. Example can be Walmart. So कुछ भी ऐसा feature which gives in comparison to your competitors, it gives you some edge, is known as your competitive advantage. अगर तुम इन सारे features को एक बार summarize करने की कोशिश करोगे, you will see that they are primarily, these can be clubbed into two things. One is your cost leadership. Cost leadership का मतलब क्या है कि हम कैसे कम प्राइस पे बना सकते हैं. And second one is your differentiation. And these are nothing but these are given by Porter generic strategies. Now अब सवाल है कि इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम, जो हमारे इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम है, हाउ दे कैन असिस्ट इन डेवलप सम ऑफ दीज कैपेबिलिटीज. ये वाले चीज कैसे कर सकते हैं. सो गाइज, जितने भी हमारे इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम है, जैसे कि MIS, एग्जीक्यूटिव सपोर्ट सिस्टम, डिसीजन सपोर्ट सिस्टम, ट्रांजैक्शन प्रोसेसिंग सिस्टम, और बिजनेस इंटेलिजेंस टूल्स और एक्सपर्ट सिस्टम्स. सो ये जितने भी इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम है, सो दे कैन हेल्प इन बिल्डिंग कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज बाय गिविंग यू कैपेबिलिटीज ऑफ रिड्यूसिंग कॉस्ट, या फिर इट कैन बी बेटर रिलेशनशिप विद suppliers. Another example can be building customer loyalty. Another example can be better inventory management. Another one can be maybe better product design. अब how? अब इसका ना एक तुम साथ में कोई एग्जांपल भी दे सकते हो, जैसे कि you will use electronic data interchange for managing the relationship with suppliers. You will use JIT for reducing the cost. You will use maybe CRM for building the customer loyalty. You can use maybe computer aided design for what? For product development. So this is how different information systems will give you this capability of building competitive advantage in any of these areas. So guys, again please understand कि we are solving this paper for you. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि यही एक लिखने का तरीका है. अब किसी एक गिवन आंसर को हम दूसरे तरीके से भी लिख सकते हैं, जैसे कि अब इसी सवाल को हम ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं. So guys, competitive advantage कब build होगा? Competitive advantage build कब कैसे होता है? So जनरली कंपनी क्या करते हैं? दे लुक एट देयर वैल्यू चेन. वैल्यू चेन में क्या है? इनबाउंड लॉजिस्टिक्स, देन ऑपरेशंस, उसके बाद आउटबाउंड लॉजिस्टिक्स, फिर क्या है? मार्केटिंग एंड सेल्स, फिर सर्विस. वैल्यू चेन सबको आता है, राइट? मुझे बताने की नीड नहीं है, करेक्ट? सो दीज आर प्राइमरी एक्टिविटीज and then there are a few secondary activities like your HR, your procurement, your technology. So these are secondary activities. ठीक है? So but generally competitive advantage कैसे build होता है कि you look at one or more activities और फिर उस activity में we try to create a competitive advantage. For example, by using the RFID, you can you can make your outbound logistics more efficient. And this is how for this particular activity, you can develop the competitive advantage. Similarly, you can use digital marketing tools for your marketing and sales. Similarly, for inbound logistics, you can use electronic data interchange. For HR, you can use HRIS. For procurement, you can use e-procurement and so on. कितनी भी एग्जांपल तुम लोग डेवलप कर सकते हो, ठीक है? For operations, you can use JIT. लो मैंने सारे कर दिया. So this is another way कि तुम इसका आंसर डेवलप कर सकते हो कि कैसे across all stages of a value chain I can use different information systems to develop competitive advantage in that particular step of the value chain. Okay.
Okay. So the question is that an engineering firm has determined that for a particular part, the cost of purchase is 350 per order and 22 per part. Its inventory cost is 15% of the average inventory, and the firm currently purchases 2,20,000 worth of this part every year. And we have to determine the EOQ. What is the optimum number of days supply per optimum order? So let's start with the first part, that is we have to determine what is our economic order quantity. Now, first thing is we know that the formula for EOQ is under root 2 into ordering cost into annual demand divided by carrying cost, right? So अब इसमें हम क्या करेंगे? सबसे पहले we need to find what is our annual demand in units. Okay, it is given that and total purchases in a year are 2,20,000. So simply we will divide the total purchases by the cost per part. So it will be 10,000 units, which is your annual demand. Okay, cost of per order is 350 and carrying cost is 15% of the average inventory, and when we'll calculate it, it will be 15% of 22 per part. Okay, so carrying cost will be rupees 3.30. So you have all the values. So whenever the question like this comes, first write the formula, then find the values of the part of the formula and then put the values. Okay, take it in every step, take it at easy steps. First write the formula and then you will get the story, and accordingly you can easily find the final answer. Now you can just put the values, that is 2 into 350 into 10,000 divided by 3.3 and your EOQ will come out to be 1456. Sorry. EOQ will be 1456 units. Okay. Now, what is the optimum number of days supply per optimum order? Means how many days, what is the gap between the days in which you have to make the order? So first of all, for this we have to calculate the number of orders. For second part, first we will calculate number of orders, which will be EOQ divided by not EOQ, which is total demand divided by EOQ. So that is 10,000 divided by 1456, which will be approximately 7 orders. So that means in a year, the firm should make 7 orders to have an economic order quantity. Now we have to find the optimal number of days of supply. So for that, we will calculate the gap days, which will be number of days is equal to 365 days are there in a year, and we have to make 7 orders. That means in every 52 days gap, we have to place the order. So this is how we can find the answer. Okay. Next question is, what is Fisher's ideal index? Why is it called ideal? And describe the steps involved in the computation of Fisher's ideal index number. So we'll start with the first part. What is Fisher's ideal index? So Fisher's ideal index, so first we'll define it. We'll give the definition, which is Fisher's ideal index is a consumer price index that is used to measure change in the price level of goods and services over a time period. Index is very important because of the time period difference only. So that's why Fisher's ideal index also changes the measures. The definition is that it measures the changes in price levels of goods and services over a time period. Okay, and with this index, it calculates cost of living and inflation rate in the economy. Okay, so this finishes your first one. You just have to give the definition of what is Fisher's index. Second part is, why is it called ideal? So for defining why it is called ideal, so we know that there are tests of adequacy for measuring the adequacy of the indexes. So the test of adequacy, and there are 4 tests of adequacy, which is first one is unit test, second time test, third factor reversal test, and fourth circular test. And why Fisher index is called ideal? Because out of these 4 tests, Fisher index satisfies these 3 tests. Fisher index is the only one which satisfies 3 out of the 4 tests. All the other indexes are able to satisfy only 1 or 2 tests only, or you can say qualify only 1 or 2 tests. Only Fisher index is the one who can which can qualify the most of the number of the tests. So that's why it is the test of adequacy. It is known as the ideal test of ideal index. Okay, so what we have to do this in this type of question, we'll write the test of adequacy, we'll define unit test, time test, factor reversal test, and circular test in 1 or 2 lines, and then we'll say at the end that because we can say that because it satisfies or qualifies the 3 out of the 4 tests, it is known as the ideal, and it is the only test which qualifies the maximum number of tests. Okay, now the third part. Third part is describe the steps involved in computation of Fisher's ideal index. Okay, one more thing in the definition, you can also give the formula. Formula for Fisher ideal index is geometric mean of less pairs and Pasch index. Right? This is the formula for Fisher's ideal index. So now computation of Fisher's ideal index. So we know for less pairs we need P1 Q0, P0 Q0. For Pasch, we need P1 Q1 and for P0 Q1. So this is the steps in the computation. We have to calculate all these values, and at the last we will put it in the formula, that is P1 Q0 P0 Q0 into P1 Q1 divided by P0 Q1 into 100. So this will give you the Fisher's ideal index. So these are the steps in calculating the ideal index. First we'll calculate the required values for less pairs, then required values for the Pasch, and then we'll calculate the geometric mean of those values. Okay, so that's what you have to write. Explain the steps and you will get the answer.